Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia, Cerebellum and Integrating Learning Center, the picture of cycling, car driving, swimming, all the new activities which need a coordinated work centers around cerebellum. That's the reason why the picture has been put to say this is for learning any new thing, and cerebellum plays a very, very important role. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyan, the divine design of nature, with which the perfect objects are designed and created. You can also say Divyank is the divine design of creation of every perfect object of the universe. Divyank is also the reward of 60 years of integrated education. I can also say impeccable wisdom is enlightenment and integrated knowledge is empowering. So right education, integrated education is enlightening and empowering, and that is spiritual science. This particular picture of human brain parts, you are already fair. So forebrain, I'm not going to talk much about it. I've already spoken. Midbrain also, I have already spoken about it. Let's not talk. But coming to the third part, hindbrain consists of two components, metencephalon and myencephalon. Metencephalon is made of pons and cerebellum. Metencephalon is medulla oblongata. So pons and medulla oblongata and cerebellum, these three components make hindbrain constituent parts. To understand the whole nervous system and the role of cerebellum in leading a perfect life, let's revise integrated human nervous system. Let's start with the sensory nervous system, or Jnana Indriya, how they bring the information from the external world or internal world to the central nervous system, which is evaluating system. And central nervous system is made of spinal cord as well as brain. And for execution of that is done by the motor nervous system, and that is two components, voluntary and involuntary. Involuntary is autonomic, which consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic, which we are going to talk shortly. Also, at the fourth level, we have independent pacemakers in the heart, uterus, digestive system, etc. This area is normally not given importance to, but I do believe this is very, very important, and we are going to talk about it in detail as we proceed. From the very beginning, I've been trying to say nature has designed 10 stages of development for making anything which is perfect. So similarly, human brain, I'm reinforcing again, the perfect divine design is to made of 10 lobes, not 8 lobes, which every book talks about. 3 pairs of sensory and 1 motor, which is but actually there should be 2 and 3. So frontal motor cortex plus central insular cortex, which is also autonomic motor cortex. So 2 to 3 makes more sense and 10 make more sense, and that is also something which I'm trying to emphasize. If you understand Divyank, you'll find understanding of anatomy, physiology, biochemistry much better than the way the books are written as on date. Now coming to the next stage, which is very, very important as far as motor activity is concerned. This is again 3 different components which play a very important role to make motor activity perfect. The first step is programming and planning of a motor activity. That process is started in basal ganglion. I want you to remember basal ganglion plays very important role along with cerebellum to make our motor activity very, very powerful. I'm going to talk about this in one of the later slides. Second part which is important is execution of motor activity, which is done by somatosensory part of the parietal cortex and primary motor cortex and premotor cortex of frontal lobe. Then these fibers from the fourth layer of neocortex get down through the pyramidal tract to the spinal cord through corticospinal tract to execute things. But in between you can see cerebellum on the right side down. It plays an important role of motor coordination. So without motor coordination, perfection is not going to be easy, particularly learning new techniques. These components play a very important role, and why they are important is something which I'm going to talk about. Now let's take this particular slide. Cerebellum, the small brain. Cerebellum is small, you can see small, and then you can say cerebrum is a large brain. You can green colored big brain, large cortex made of 10 parts is cerebrum, large brain. Cerebellum below yellow color is small brain below it, and incidentally it is also made of 10 components. Again and again, if you keep Devank in mind, you will be able to search for the right answer. If somebody has made a mistake of writing 8 parts or 12 parts, then you can easily say what are the 10 important parts which are absolutely essential, vital. Then you will be able to spell it out and remember it much easily for the rest of your life. Then try getting confused. Is it 7? It is 8. This is 10, 12. So this confusing number, let's forget about it. Let's simplify to the extent that you will have absolutely no difficulty. And it is a scientific evidence which nobody can deny. I have taken 60 years to understand this concept, and now presenting it in a holistic form with a kind of scientific evidence, keeping in the light of Devank. Devank has made my job much easier to explain things correctly. Now let's come to cerebellum. Broadly, it has also got 3 parts. The central cerebellar vermix you can see in the middle, which is the bridge between left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. Cerebellar hemisphere left, cerebellar hemisphere right. That's one part. Now you can also see there are 10 lobes described in picture, which is beautiful picture by ResearchGate. Thanks to them for having done such a wonderful job. And with sense of gratitude, I am presenting this and giving credit to them and appreciating them for this particular work. They have made my job much easier. Now, if you see, anterior lobe in red color is made of 5 components. Yellow, the posterior lobe, it is written here 4. Actually, there are also 5. 6, 7, 8A, 8B, and 9. So 5 plus 5, 10. So these 10 parts could be a major developing stage which plays very important role in coordination. Then you have a blue last, flocculonodular lobe. And I do believe this must be like an autonomic nervous system, the 0.344 component, which plays very important in finally concluding the activity in a perfect way. I'm sure this has got something to do with it. We will explore it and discuss about it at a much later date. So, quote in quote, 10.34419 are these 10 plus lobes of cerebellum, which makes a lot of sense to me now. Let's go to next. Now you must be wondering why vanished the cellular dysfunctions, signs and symptoms, and then I have written Science of Mnemonics. And as a medical student, way back in 1969, from my professor I learnt if you can create some poetical story or some form which we can be very entertaining and remember things much more clearly. We have something called Rahu column. And to explain the timings of Rahu column, which is bad time, he made one statement which I still remember. Mother saw father wearing turban through Sunday. So mother mean M, that means Monday. Rahu column is going to be between 7:30 and 9. Sa, Saturday. It is going to be between 9 and 10:30. Mother, Sa, father. Friday, 10:30 to 12. Wearing, Wednesday, 12 to 1:30. Turban, Tuesday, 1:30 to 3. Thursday, 3 to 4:30. Sunday, 4:30 to 6. And I was amazed. What a wonderful way of looking. And I'm glad at the young age of 17, 18, I got to understand this is what I have to find to remember things clearly so that I don't make mistakes. So seed which was laid into my mind way back in 1969 over a period has sprouted, and I have always looked forward to some sort of a dictum or some sort of mnemonics to remember things better and explain things easy without making mistake. Now, vanished. Let's now, in the light of vanished, since it is connected with cellular dysfunctions, signs and symptoms, what are the signs which I'm talking about? The first one is V, vertigo. So cerebellum, one of the function is for equilibrium. It is associated with eighth nerve, with the ear and equilibrium. If this cerebellum is not functioning very well, you will not be able to maintain equilibrium at all. You will experience vertigo. Number one symptom, which is very clear as a symptom or sign of cerebellar dysfunction. Ataxia is again bobbling movement, mean your coordination of different movement is not in tune. You will be just swaying here and there. So A, V, vertigo, A, ataxia. Then is nystagmus. The eyes, there will be movement of autonomic movement or spontaneous movement of eyes. They will not be able to focus on one small thing. That is also primarily because of cerebellar dysfunctions only. Then you have intentional tremors. Whenever you are thinking about it, you start getting tremors. That shows that cerebellum and thinking or planning through basal ganglion plays very important role. Intentional tremors, both basal ganglion as well as cerebellar cortex would have a defect. Then slurred speech, even speaking coordination will be defect. No person will not be able to talk coherently. So S, hypotonia, all the muscles, the tone is reduced. Very simple. Then you will have exaggerated broad-based gait. The one person wants to move, he'll not be able to move like a normal person, one step front and things like that. He will rather have two legs wide apart and try to walk in such a way so that he can maintain its gait. If you see a patient like that, you would immediately know that it is cerebellar dysfunction. I still remember Professor K. Ramachandra clearly telling me, Sharma, remember one thing, as the patient walks up to you, 80% of your diagnosis you should be in mind without any doubt. And I totally agree. As you observe a patient coming to you carefully, 80% of diagnosis you will have it. If you have that kind of clinical knowledge, I'm sure you could be a very good physician. Then at the end I've written dysdiadokinesia. Now what is dysdiadokinesia as the last one? I think this needs to be explained in a very explicit way so that people understand why I put vanished, why I put this particular thing, and simplify the entire cerebellar dysfunctions, signs and symptoms for every student and every person to recognize it easy and remember and reproduce. Let's go to discussion. Now, right on top, dysdiadokinesia. And then you see a person with one palm down, another palm on top. What exactly the person is trying to do is turn the palm left up and down, up and down. And the person, normally we will be able to do it without any problem. We can even clap so beautifully that we can create a beautiful harmonious music with clapping of hands itself. As a matter of fact, in Bhakti Yoga, clapping of the palms is considered a very important role for spiritual evolution. Similarly, dancers also use tapping of the soles on the ground and creating a music which is also falls into the same particular concept. Now let's understand dysdiadokinesia. What does dysdiadokinesia mean? Dys means inability. Di means two. A means one. Kinesia means movement. That means inability to convert two movements into one integrated movement. What the person is trying to do is clap the hand up, down, up, down, up, down, and make it fast. If he is able to do it fast without any problem, that means his cerebellum function are perfectly normal. If he is not able to do it, it is one other thing which is it. Now, similarly, in Vanish also, we can also say this particular concept, if you take the finger and finger nose test, if he is able to touch the nose clearly, that means perfectly not. But if you have cerebral, he will not be able to do, he will overshoot it. Similarly, if the person is taking the legs and rotating it, he will not be able to rotate. So all these clinical features will show cerebellum is not able to coordinate things with it. So what I am trying to say is keep cerebellum function, because without the cerebellum coming to play a role, your cycling techniques or motor driving techniques or swimming techniques or any other new learning things would be almost impossible in case you have a cerebellar dysfunctions. Now this also I have written down. What does it remind you of? To me, it reminds me of Sanskrit language. Suddenly, Sanskrit language. Because there is one thing which I learned from my childhood. There is a process called Sandhi Shed. Sandhi Shed means you take one word in Sanskrit. If you want to understand Sanskrit very well, you take every word and then divide into smaller components to understand. Let's to start with Sanskrit itself. San means uniform. Krit means making together. So even word Sanskrit itself means all the words are put together in such a way so that they become a meaning. All the meaning is very much there. Almost all the mantras, Sanskrit mantras, which are in Vedas, Upanishads and other things, structured in such a way that each word has a concept, and that concept would be replica of the reflection of the particular element we are talking about. And from that angle, I would definitely say Sanskrit that has lots of deeper meaning, and no wonder I'm in tune with Sanskrit in my childhood and always looked at the meaning of Sanskrit language through Sandhi shades, not by technical things the way others have been teaching Sanskrit or English or other languages. I have nothing against it, but one thing which I learned on my own is each word, Shabda or Akshara, made me feel a different kind of feeling, and that feeling made me understand Sanskrit much better. As a result, I was able to decode Devyank from Vedas, Upanishads, which everyone else had failed to understand that aspect of the Sanskrit language which had deep meaning within it. I think I want you this particular opportunity to say, learn Sanskrit words, divide into things, and then say what is the deeper meaning. As a result, we can decode many mathematical designs of divine nature which were hidden by the ancient Indian sages in Vedas and Upanishads using Sanskrit language, this particular concept. I'm just putting it across. Sandhi Sheth has made a difference to me. Because of that, I've been able to understand. And I would like to create the medical terminology which would have auto-explanatory thing. If you have noticed, almost all my videos have one Sanskrit terminology and then followed by English subtitles. I'm trying to create a thing. I hope I succeed in creating a new language where the word itself, chanting of the word, or talking of the word, or talking of just mentioning about that, immediately should feel one what exactly it means. So that is the reason why I said dyscytokinesia. I keep telling all students, if you understand this, split this word, you'll find beautiful answer, the complete act. So I'm sure from that point of view, all the viewers of my videos would understand and appreciate what Akhand Vidyashram is talking about impeccable wisdom, what it is leaving behind the legacy of a language which is universal, with which everybody will be able to understand each and every aspect very clearly. And that aspect of Sanskrit I'm trying to revive in the form of Sandishet so that everybody can benefit from language medium. And also I'm trying to convert that into inanimate symbolic language where ambiguity is totally eliminated. So from that, I think I feel happy that I've been able to do it beautifully. Now coming to the, as usual, the last one. It has been wonderful talking to you, sharing all my spiritual science experiences of 60 years and what I've learned. And now it is up to everybody else to understand and then build so that all the information which is available in all the mediums, internet, Google, Wikipedia, and all the universities of the world, the information is quite sectarian, defective. Let's talk of impeccable and create a new terminology so the world can understand. So the unlearning and relearning is not at all necessary. Now, coming back to this last picture, I'm sure you know it very well. So thank you very, very much for kind